The last time we had a Week in Review program, our city's top health official was telling Kansas Cityans to relax.
Everybody can take a deep breath and relax.
And now, the city's entire public life shutting down.
I am ordering all K-12 schools to close and cease in-person instruction.
I don't believe that coronavirus is going to be over in a week or two. I believe we have to consider that this is going to be here for months.
There are more cases than have been identified.
There are some who will be angry about any number of things that will be closed over the next several weeks or perhaps longer.
This week, the trends and local impacts of a virus upending our city. We answer the questions you've been sending us, plus what are the stories we're missing because of coronavirus coverage 24/7.
Week in Review is made possible through the generous support of Dave and Jamie Cummings, Bob and Marlise Gorley, Smithfield Foods, Haas and Wilkerson Insurance, the Courtney S. Turner Charitable Trust, John H. Mize and Bank of America N.A. co-trustees, and by viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome everyone, I'm Nick Haynes. We go on a brief break for our KCPT Spring Membership Drive and we return to a vastly changed city. And just as your life has been disrupted, so has ours. The entire KCPT staff now working from home. Even our receptionist taking all of your calls from a spare bedroom in her house. Ruckus, by the way, has been put on hiatus. And on this show, we've been told to scale things back. Fewer panelists, fewer crew, but we're keeping calm and carrying on, committed to keeping you informed of this week's news reviewers. From KMBC 9 News, Chief Political Reporter Michael Mahoney. From the Kansas City Call newspaper, Senior Writer Eric Wesson. And from KCUR News, Steve Kraske. Now, a week ago, Kansas City's biggest complaint was that the Big 12 basketball tournament was being cancelled. Now, basically everything is shut down. No schools, no universities, no St. Patrick's Day parade. Most arts organizations have closed their doors. The Kansas City Zoo shut down. Casinos, bars, restaurants, many of our big-name shops, two of Kansas City's largest employers shutting their doors as the Ford Motor Plant in Claycomo and the GM Assembly Plant in Kansas City, Kansas, halting their production line, at least for now. So rather than list everything you can no longer do, panelists, can you give us a little bit of a bright spot here? Is there anything we can actually do this weekend as we head into this city that is largely shut down at this point?
You know, I think the list of things people can do is starting to emerge now, Nick, as the city sort of recovers from the initial shock of what this pandemic really means for them. Here's one thing they can do. They can go online and buy gift certificates to local businesses, local bars, and maybe even local artists. They're setting up different web pages to offer support to them. That would be something very proactive they can do this weekend.
You know, some of these changes that have taken place, the state of emergency, are these recommendations, Michael Mahoney, or could you be fined, put in jail if you, for instance, open a bar or a restaurant during this period of time?
Some of them are orders. Some of them are recommendations. The state of emergency in Kansas City is an order. The recommendations about social distancing and closing things down in the state of Missouri are largely recommendations. A lot of it over in the state of Kansas is an order from the governor. But as we were talking earlier, Nick, let's just take bars and restaurants. Regulated industry, the liquor control people in Kansas City, it's a very small staff. And I don't think, save maybe for St. Patrick's Day, they were out looking. And I don't think that the police are also looking either. But this idea of social distancing and the serious nature of this is being taken to heart.
I've been amazed actually by the immense compliance that has taken place from this, but has there been people violating the state of emergency, Eric?
The social distancing aspect of it, I believe people have kind of disregarded that as far as people getting together. But one of the things that we talked about before the show, homicides are down. So if there's a bright spot in all of this, the fact that homicides are down, I don't think we've had one over the past week and a half.
Because fewer people are outside going about their business.
Exactly. Fewer people are on the street. I think this gives people an exhale moment to just kind of calm down, get in the family. My family's watched a lot of movies over the past few weeks because we haven't really been out and about.
No, the biggest news of the week, though, involved our schools.
I am ordering all K-12 schools to close and cease in-person instruction for the duration of the 2019-2020 school year.
It's all moving so quickly. nobody has a plan yet.
Very overwhelmed and not sure what to do next, kind of in shock.
I really can't imagine, kids with this kind of freedom, parents having to go to work regardless, no supervision. It's not going to work real well.
It sounds great to talk about, well, we'll just flip to a virtual school format. The logistics, the practicality, and how you do that is not something that school districts are really set up to be able to do.
Are our area school districts equipped to launch online education for tens of thousands of metro area school children, Michael?
The answer to that is yes and no, in the sense that on Thursday, the state of Kansas came out with about as comprehensive plan as you can put together in a week for continuous education. For many districts around here, that's going to be online learning. For some families and some kids that don't have devices or laptops or computers at home or good internet service, they will have packets going home. What this is going to do, Nick, is it's a pretty bold plan by the state of Kansas to, even though they have closed their school buildings, they are going to resume schooling their children. This will probably start in earnest on Monday, the March 30th. All of this coming week is going to be devoted at the district level to putting this plan into place, and it will not be one size fits all. It'll be by district to district. Over in Missouri, it's a different situation. All 555 school districts are now closed. The local districts did that, not the state, and they are in a very different situation about wait and see, about how long it's going to last there. Schools around Kansas City, probably April 3rd is the target, but nobody knows for sure if they'll reopen.
I saw a quote from the deputy superintendent in the Excelsior Springs School District, Steve, that said that we have some places where 30% of the kids will not have any internet access. We can't even take that for granted.
Enormous challenges being posed here by these decisions by our districts, Nick, when it comes to feeding kids, when it comes to what you just said, distance learning, childcare for many parents now posing huge problems. Just want to point out, though, I think the districts need a little bit of time to sort some of this out. For instance, just today, the Kansas City, Missouri School District announcing big plans to feed students in the weeks and months, perhaps, going forward here. Just took them a matter of days to launch this very major program to get our kids fed. It's going to take educators a little time here to sort some of this stuff out. And you're right, it's not going to be smooth for a lot of families.
And feeding children is important. For many people, that may be the only meal for children that they get. At least their main meal of the day comes when they're in the school.
Absolutely. And a lot of churches, a lot of groups are opening their doors yesterday, giving out groceries to help families. But my kids are in the Raytown School District. I got a first grader and a fourth grader. Before they went on spring break, the kids brought on laptops, and my son brought on about that much work. And so we knew this was coming. But they had said Tuesday, they expect the kids to be logged into their computer online by 8:30 in the morning, and they created an atmosphere where they have discounts for them to get their internet access as well.
Michael.
Now in Kansas, they're saying they don't expect kids to be on their computer learning 7 hours a day. In fact, their schedule runs from 30 minutes for kindergartners and pre-K all the way up to a maximum of 3 hours for high school students. The point I want to make here, Nick, is that I believe that whatever shape we're in when we come through this on the other end, the look of American education may be on the verge of a major change. It's not going to happen overnight, but we may be on the very first step of a big reevaluation about how we educate kids.
As Michael was talking about the state of Kansas, there is pushback among lawmakers in the state of Kansas about the governor even closing down schools. They think that's an abuse of her emergency powers. They've been trying to push back against that and change those powers this week. Would that mean that schools could reopen again?
Well, I think potentially it could, and yeah, a big partisan jockeying match going on in Kansas right now, Nick, between Republicans and the Democratic governor who don't want to see Governor Kelly get, in their eyes, get too far out over her skis. She was the first governor in the country to make this declaration of closing down all the schools. Just want to point out again some of the major decisions that still have to be made. What are education officials going to do for students who are prepared to graduate graduate in May, even though they haven't completed their school years yet, Nick. If school is canceled through May, even into the summer, do you graduate this cohort of senior kids, or do you make them come back and finish things out? We're seeing some decisions getting made now on standardized testing, those getting put off for a while, but big, meaty decisions that education officials have to wrap their collective arms around.
One of the things, Steve, that Kansas is doing is they are saying, look, seniors got to graduate with 21 hours worth of credit. Most districts require them to graduate with more than that right now, and they believe, they're pretty confident anyway, that a lot of kids will be able to meet that 21-hour credit.
Now, with no obvious end in sight to this current health emergency, many people are asking, what can we expect next? One thing we know is that the upcoming election in Kansas City has been postponed. The April 7th ballot would have decided an increase in the sales tax for the fire department, along with several local school board races. That's now been pushed back until June. Meanwhile, the Kansas presidential primary being held on May 2nd will go on as planned, but the Kansas Democratic Party is encouraging voters to cast their ballots by mail. Apparently, every Democratic voter will get a mail-in ballot sent to their homes. By May, will voters in Kansas have anything to decide in this Democratic campaign for president, Steve?
No. I think that the race has been decided. Joe Biden is going to be the Democratic nominee. We know now that Bernie Sanders is reassessing his campaign, Nick. So that's the problem with states waiting to go that late. These decisions always get made early, and I always sort of wonder why Kansas and Missouri don't opt to go earlier to have some real impact on these campaigns.
Well, I think Missouri did. Their slot in the second Super Tuesday, I think, had some impact. Kansas bet on the fact that maybe it was going to be a multi-candidate primary down the road, and they would be in a real position of power. The larger question here, I think, is going to be the fact that Missouri is going to have this discussion again about early voting, and not this little white lie absentee system that the state has right now, but have a genuine plan for early voting like Kansas does.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Is it presumptuous, though, for the state of Missouri to push back that April election to June as if things may be normal at that point in time, Eric?
Yeah, I think this is going to be around for the long haul. And I think setting a June date looks good and sounds good, but I think it's going to be longer than June. But I don't know if they're going to send out the absentee ballots and let everybody vote that way, but I think it's going to last longer than June. But let me say one other thing that we haven't talked about when we're talking about the problems that are going to create it. City budgets. You can just about throw those in the shredder. With these cities not getting sales tax money now, they canceled the basketball tournaments, a great deal of revenue coming from that. That money is gone. You probably projected that in the budget. The state budget even projected off of restaurant sales, hotel sales tax. Those things now you're going to be having a great problem.
What other impact might we have then that we may not be thinking about at this point in time, Steve?
Boy, what other, Michael, help me here.
Oh, thanks, Kraske. I appreciate that.
I've got plenty of other stuff. I'm going to move on. The coronavirus has created enormous anxiety and uncertainty. And it's bringing up lots of questions. You have many of them, and we're hearing from you this week, and some of those are kind of heartbreaking. Courtney is concerned about her father, who's currently in hospice care in Kansas City. Would the state of emergency prevent us from having a funeral, Eric?
Yes. And funeral homes and the Centers for Disease Control are urging funeral directors to do funerals online, live stream them, rather than having people come in. Immediate families, although churches are exempt, immediate family members are who they're requesting to come in for the funeral. So it will have an impact.
Sam called in worried about people we too often overlook.
Mr. Haynes, I'm calling about friends of mine who are homeless and unable to get medical care for the coronavirus. Hospitals are not accepting homeless people. They are turning people away without IDs.
Is that happening? And if so, what is the effect of that?
I think the homeless population is a huge concern. When I asked Mayor Lucas the other day on the air, what keeps you awake at night, the first thing he said, and it surprised me, was the homeless population. Those folks tend to congregate closely together. They can spread the disease quickly if they indeed contract it. That's going to be an issue that authorities are going to have to wrestle with.
And compounding that is the fact that here in Kansas City and elsewhere across the nation, hospital bed space is at or near capacity. And if we have an outbreak like the one that Steve just described there, that's going to be very, 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 very troublesome.
Alex emails us, I read that the tax filing deadline has been pushed back until July, but that states may still require you to pay your taxes on time. Is that true in Kansas and Missouri, he wants to know, Steve?
If you live in Missouri, they're going to give you 90 days to pay your taxes. You got to get your forms in by April 15th, but you got a 90-day grace period without penalty to actually go ahead and write your check. I haven't seen anything out of Kansas yet on that front. Perhaps lawmakers will deal with it in the weeks to come.
The other thing very quickly is that the federal government is moving the April 15th tax deadline back.
Lots of calls and emails coming in, as I said, to the station this week, including this one from Barbara.
I've heard on the news about they want to get out President Trump $1,000. Does that include seniors, like on Social Security, to help boost the economy they were talking about? But I don't know if that's just people getting laid off from work.
Is that for everybody?
They're looking at an income threshold, Nick. They don't want to give these checks to millionaires. I think Republicans and Democrats are united on that idea. But this is still in the very, very early stages, Nick. The Senate Republicans have dealt with this. It hasn't gone past the Democrats in the Senate, and the House has to weigh in yet.
But would seniors be entitled to something like that?
If they make under a certain amount of money, yes.
What about
$99,000? I think that's the threshold that they're.
We see the federal government getting engaged in this. What about our state and local governments? Are they doing anything to help those most closely affected by the coronavirus here?
They're still trying to put this all together. And the way this crisis is unfolding here, a lot of this is falling on state governments to execute some of this. Just on Friday, for example, the National Association of Governors asked Congress, give the states $150 billion to deal with this on the front line. And it's going to be the state capitals in Topeka and Jefferson City and throughout the nation where I think it's going to be the bullseye on this.
Even Mayor Lucas, Nick, is looking at some kind of aid package to small businesses and restaurants, still working on the details here. He can't print money like the federal government can, but he's looking at a package in the low millions of dollars to help out there.
Governor Kelly, along with the closing of all schools, put a stop on any evictions in the state of Kansas for the time being from homes or businesses. That will certainly has some eyebrows raised among the landlords and the banking community, but that's only on the Kansas side. What about in Missouri? Can you still be evicted from your home during this period of time?
They stopped evictions too. I think utility companies have also said they're not going to disconnect anyone during this period. But again, we don't know how long this period is going to last. So that, and banks are supposed to be giving small business loans, and that's coming through the government as well.
Yeah, I noticed as we were doing the show now, free buses, they haven't even paid for it yet, but now Ride KC says all buses from Kansas City out to Independence into Johnson County will be free. But that really is about protecting the drivers, right?
Yeah, but it also speaks to the point that Eric was making earlier about the tax, the burden on local governments and their budgets. The ATA system was still going to be charging fares for the rest of the system outside of Kansas City. Now that's going away. There's going to be, people are going to have to pick up the load on this, and I think Eric's right on the button here. Local budgets are going to be torn to shreds here.
Just a quick comment here, Nick. I mean, the pace of this story is so dramatic. You've already alluded to it here. We're churning through a lot of information here. I think the three of us are struggling to keep up with it all. I certainly am at KCUR. I find myself in the mornings, Nick, listening to the Today Show and NPR at the same time. My head's getting scrambled with so much information. That's simply where we are.
But one of the issues that, we have made it a regular part of our show every week to ask, what is the big story we missed? Well, what stories are not being covered or reported on, because we are now in this sort of 24/7 coronavirus news cycle?
That Mayor Lucas, even though he's dealing with this, and it's like he came into office, he had to deal with the homicides. Then he left the homicides 2 months later, he's dealing with the potholes. He comes out of the potholes, he deals with the tenants because they're saying that they're not in the budget for enough money. Now he has a national crisis that he's dealing with, and he always looks cool, calm, and collective on TV. But I know it's got to be a burden because he's not been able to do anything that he campaigned saying that he was going to be able to do.
I think every other public issue that we have discussed over at this table for months is now on the back burner. From potholes to the budget to Medicare expansion to primaries to who's going to be running our government with the elections. All of that now is pushed back on the back burner. Are there stories that we're missing? Yeah, but this is so all-consuming that it's taken up all the options.
But are our state elected officials and even our local officials, is this an opportunity now to push through policies and ordinances and things that they knew were going to be unpopular because this issue is taking up all of the attention that they can push through?
No question about it, Nick. And I think you see an example of that with Laura Kelly sort of signing off on the no eviction order here. That wasn't adjudicated by the legislature. That was simply her calling for that, almost under the radar screen here. I think the push in the journalism community right now, Nick, is for utilitarian, useful information. And as a consequence of that, the watchdog role of the press sort of gets pushed aside. That's always concerning.
Yeah, absolutely. And one other tax I forgot about, earnings tax. If people aren't working and people working from home and waiters and waitresses are working, what happens with that earnings tax money that the city's not going to be getting?
During the Second World War, when confronted with the enemy, Americans got to work. Millions put on a uniform and they went onto the battlefront. Those who stayed behind supported the war effort, taking jobs in munition plants, purchased Liberty bonds, and participated in rationing programs. Confronted with this enemy, many of us feel helpless when the only demand made of us is to stay home and sit on the couch. What can we do as Kansas Cityans to go from feeling helpless to helpful this week? Is there anything we can do, Michael?
I think it is as simple as buckling down. Nobody likes this. Nobody wanted it to happen, but everybody's got to eat it. And I miss my friends, but we just got to we have to buckle down. And in that same sense of national service that you just described in World War II is the very thing that we're being asked to do right now. I say, look, I'm a boomer, all right, and I'm taking precautions. And I also tell my friends, look, this is the generation that survived bad skateboards, very violent cartoons, and the Three Stooges. We can make it through this.
Not the Three Stooges. I think that we have to figure out a way to help less fortunate people, even in this crisis. A lot of families aren't going to have food. We got the kids that probably won't have balanced meals every day. We have to figure out a way to help these shelters and homeless people throughout this whole ordeal.
And food pantries are bare, aren't they? Yes.
And I think just in recent days, Nick, we're seeing sort of that aspect of this crisis come to the public view here. More and more Kansas Cityans trying to navigate this tricky balancing act of maintaining social distance while trying to help out friends and neighbors. We're seeing stories about folks delivering food to shut-ins, that kind of thing. I heard a story on the radio today about folks in one neighborhood who want to keep their kids are really rambunctious. They want to keep them inside the house, but everyone's writing letters to everybody else and then going out one family at a time and delivering the letters around the neighborhood. Terrific idea. People are going to get really creative to find safe ways to connect with people.
Well, let's talk about a little bit of that. For all of the angst, there have been these uplifting stories coming out of the negativity, including local distillery J. Rieger turning its gin production line into a hand sanitizer plant and offering it up to the public on a what you can afford to pay basis. What's the most uplifting story you've encountered here in the Metro, Eric?
The food giveaway from Macedonia Church. Even though they did it on Wednesday, people got their message mixed up on Facebook. They came back Thursday and handed out groceries to people then. So people are doing something to help.
Michael.
I heard this on Steve's show this morning, but I think it's great. Beyond the letters, a group of folks, they called you up and said, look, we're kind of a social group, and now we're going to all order out from the same restaurant. We're going to go pick up our food, then we're going to get on FaceTime and chat and have a glass of wine and go from there. That's coming together. That's community building in a way.
Steve.
Well, my neighborhood got together on Wednesday evening. Julie Peterson emailed the neighbors and for people to get together. And then Courtney Falk, a woman who lives right across the street, came out and actually marked X's on the street 6 feet apart so that everybody could come out and get together. That's the result of it on Belinder Court in Little Westwood, Kansas, and one more reason why I love my neighborhood so much. I'm part of that group right now. But people actually stayed on their marks and stayed apart from each other, as you can see there. And I thought it was one more example of creativity when people need to get out and sort of touch base with each other at a time like this.
Absolutely. My daughter and I went to Loose Park after finishing work yesterday, and I have to say that I don't think there was a lick of green space there. People were out and about, and my daughter said, wow, you would never know there's an issue. So when the weather's nice, and that's part of the problem, we've had such a lousy weather, but when the weather is nice, people are out and about, they're still walking their dogs, they're still going out and communicating with one another. Again, even though it's very lonely here right now, and in many of our newsrooms where a lot of people are working from home, we're continuing to provide that information for you. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of Kansas City Week in Review. Our thanks to our news reviewers for braving it here at KCPT. From KMBC 9 News, Michael Mahoney. From the Call newspaper, Eric Wesson. And Steve Kraske, who's now keeping you informed every weekday at 9 with a special KCUR broadcast that keeps you updated on the coronavirus. That's instead of your updated, up-to-date program at 11, right?
9 o'clock every day for the foreseeable future, Nick.
Thank you very much. And I'm Nick Haynes. From all of us here at KCPT, keep calm and carry on. Thanks for spending part of your weekend with us.